Usually when we're doing a Roman site, one of the first people I think of giving a call to is Mark, because there's going to be shed loads of pottery, and Mark's expertise is evaluating, recognising that pottery, telling us what it is and how old it is. And you've done a few tons of that in your time.
Just a few. I don't get out very much.
He doesn't get out very much. And you came here a long time ago, didn't you? There was
I was 12 or 13 on a family holiday when this site was still being farmed and ploughed. And I remember my dad bringing me down here, and we met the local farmer, the wonderful name of Mr. Bunkle. We went walking across the ploughed field, and I picked up 2 4th century coins and a fitting from a bronze jug, which all ended up in Norwich Museum.
Because one of the critical things on this site is going to be differentiating between 4th century stuff and 1st century stuff, because we're hoping there's earlier. Are there big differences in that area in Roman pottery?
Yes, yeah, I mean the styles change quite markedly over 4 centuries, so we should be able to pick up good indicators based on the rims, the form of the vessel, and also the fabric, the types of clays that are used. They change over time.
And this place was potentially a big trading site. We can see the sea behind us.
Exactly.
And boats coming in and out trading amphora from the Mediterranean. I mean, what kind of exotic stuff might we find here?
I think what you're going to get is a lot of stuff's going to be imported into major centres like London, then offloaded onto little inshore vessels, and they're going to sort of leapfrog around the coast, bringing up supplies, picking up more stuff. Because Brancaster, if it is early 3rd century foundation, might also be linked in with the campaign to Septimius Severus in northern Britain. So they're bringing stuff out from the fens, all the grain and everything. It may be shipped to here, put onto vessels, and then taken up the South Shields to feed those brave boys fighting the heathens.
And what date was that?
That's about 208 to 211.
So in 208, if you and I had been standing up on this hill looking that way, what would we have been looking at? You're going to have to talk up, because you've gone the opposite way to the microphone.
Yeah.
So what would we have seen here in the 208?
In 208, potentially the fortress is being built. There's probably already a very extensive settlement that we've seen on the crop marks. You've probably got a nice little harbour area. It may not be a formal harbour, it might just be sort of a strand, you know, for vessels to be beached and then loaded up onto larger vessels lying off the shore. But this is going to be a very, very busy piece of landscape, a very busy seaway. Yeah. And from the size of the crop marks, you know, there's a substantial settlement here.
And we're not that far from the European coastline over there,
no,
are you?
Not really,
We're reasonably far out. We've got the Wash up here.
Yeah, just round that way. And
so
then
over there, Holland, France?
Yeah, going to the southeast, you get straight down to the mouth of the Rhine, and so you could ship food from here directly down the Rhine to the big garrisons on the frontier there.
On a time team we did about 4 or 5 years ago, we actually worked on Roman ships, and these ships were built to bring stuff across down the waterways of Holland, and potentially offloading it to get it across here. Huge amounts of grain, materials coming and going.
I mean, there's a lovely 4th century reference to the late 350s about hundreds of barge loads of grain being sent from the British storehouses directly to the continent to alleviate the effects of famine caused by barbarian raids across the Rhine. So it shows that Britain was really central to supply of the Roman army in the West.
So you came here when you're 12, and now what, 50 years later?
I'm 32 now. I've just had a very hard life, git.